Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the best looking t-shirt money can buy. Get Off My TV version 2. Now including Big Show, Kane, Ryback, and the Black Sheep, Braun Strowman. Available now for $19.99. ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. Go get yours today and join the revolution. Join the movement and wear it with pride every single Monday night during Monday Night Raw. Get Off My TV. Once again, now available through my online shop at ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Is part number 3 of number 107 of the number 1 fucking source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off the Script, the number 1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you all have a lovely Sunday afternoon. We got a lot to go over. We're going to get right into it. Not going to waste any of your time. Obviously, you guys know the deal. Twitter at JD from NY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go and get your fucking t-shirts, man. Get Off My TV version 2. Now available on ProWrestlingTees.com/offthescript. Just like you heard in the intro. If you guys want the podcast on iTunes, AudioBoom, PodBean, and Stitcher Radio, it is available right now for listen and download, so I recommend you guys do that. If you're on iTunes, I would highly recommend and greatly appreciate if you guys leave a 5-star rating and a comment. Let me know what you think of the podcast over on iTunes. And speaking of podcast, I was on the BS with CSR podcast with Blake and Shane, talking about Dean Ambrose, Roadblock, and several other things in the first ever segment called JD's fucking Goon of the Month. That's BS with CSR. They are available on iTunes and AudioBoom. Link to their podcast will be down in the description below, all right? So that's that. Let's get into the news, guys. I got so much lined up for Sunday. I want to get this right out of the gate. I know you guys were tweeting me about it. Charlotte apparently injured at a WWE house show in a match with Becky Lynch, and this could be bad. I don't know anything else on the matter. I don't have any more injuries except for what I'm reading right here. This is according to WrestleZone.com. The absolute worst thing for WWE to deal with right now is more injuries. We have WrestleMania less than a month away, and anyone else getting injured is going to cause major problems for WWE Creative, especially if a champion gets hurt. According to several sources, like I said, including WrestleZone.com, WWE had a live event on Friday in Minneapolis, Minnesota. During the show, there was a match between WWE Divas Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Halfway through the match, Charlotte got hit in the head and held her face in a lot of pain. The referee gave the dreaded X sign immediately. WWE personnel stopped the match legitimately and threw in the towel and actually put a towel over her head and helped her to the back. Becky appeared extremely concerned and went to the back as well. Looked very concerned the whole time and walked to the back along with Charlotte. There is no word on Charlotte's current status or if she's suffering from some kind of jaw injury, but any serious injury that could force her to potentially vacate the Divas Championship before WrestleMania is going to put WWE Creative in a tough situation. If Charlotte is injured and cannot go at WrestleMania, it's most likely that WWE would push Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the Divas Championship, but that would be an unfortunate way to crown the next champion, especially after the great title run Charlotte has had. I don't have any more information on this, but I will tell you this in my personal opinion. If WWE is forced to vacate the championship from Charlotte, I think we might see Becky Lynch sooner rather not Becky Lynch. We might see Bayley sooner rather than later on the WWE main roster. I don't know what is going on with WWE, but all of these injuries are accumulating one after the other, and it's not good, man. It's really not good. It doesn't look good on the company. I read from other sources that Charlotte was bleeding profusely. I don't know the extent of this injury, but as soon as I find anything, I will let you guys know on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206, and I will definitely let you guys know on next week's Off the Script if I hear anything regarding Charlotte. Hopefully, we'll hear something during Monday Night Raw tomorrow live from Chicago. But if Charlotte is really injured and is forced to vacate the Divas Championship, I think we might see Bayley on the main roster sooner rather than later, because I personally am going with Asuka to defeat Bayley at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Speaking of Asuka, she actually knocked out Emma, legit. Emma is now possibly headed to the DL as well. We don't know the extent of her injuries, but she was legit knocked out by Asuka in a WWE house show for NXT. I don't know the extent of her injuries, but this literally happened back to back. We got breaking news on Emma and Charlotte, so both right now are injured. We don't know the extent of their injuries, but I will definitely let you guys know as soon as I find anything on both of these women. That is the latest information on Charlotte for the WWE. Charlotte injured at a WWE house show in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Asuka knocking out, KOing Emma at a NXT live event, okay? Now, as for the main dish of this story, right here, big creative issues between Vince McMahon and Triple H over when to bring Finn Balor up from NXT. When it comes to NXT champion Finn Balor, there's been a lot of speculation on when he will finally arrive on the main roster. While he's done a lot of great things to help the NXT since his arrival in 2014, the thought for months was that he would debut well before WrestleMania 32. Now that WrestleMania is just around the corner, we have yet to see Balor make his big debut despite the tease for some time. WWE just debuted a new bulletproof t-shirt for Balor, and both Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows are set to be with WWE very soon. Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson will now be known as Bulletproof. WWE has basically set us up to see Balor make his main roster debut, but this has yet to happen. What is interesting is that Anderson and Gallows signed a main roster deal, not one, for NXT. The same exact thing happened with Nakamura. This is due to the fact that WWE does not plan to keep any of the New Japan Pro Wrestling additions down in NXT for that long at all. When it comes to Finn Balor, these were the rumors, or that was the rumor, that he was going to debut last summer. This never occurred for a variety of reasons. First being that injuries gutted the NXT roster, and the feeling was that if he came up, it would be very, very bad for NXT. And they could not afford to lose him. Second, Triple H felt that Balor could be a major part of NXT for a long time and help drive the brand. It seems, however, that if it were up to the game, Balor would never make the WWE main roster. This would seemingly lead to a creative dispute with Vince McMahon over Balor, and that's exactly where it's headed. According to Wrestling News World, paid subscription people, there seems to be difference in opinion on when to bring up Balor from NXT. You're not going to hear this anywhere else in the YWC. You're only going to hear this on Off the Script. Okay, I pay for several different platforms of wrestling news because I want to bring you guys the best, okay? And Wrestling News World is a legit source, okay? I trust them completely. So whatever they say most of the time over Dave Meltzer is legit. Triple H feels, like he has always, that it would be best to wait on Balor's debut until sometime after WrestleMania. He feels that Balor's arrival should wait until after NXT Dallas, where he is set to defend the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe. Balor is supposed to drop the NXT title before he debuts, obviously. However, Vince McMahon feels that debuting Balor while he's the NXT champion would not matter in the subject, as Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Big E all debuted on the main roster while holding the title. Some feel that it even brought some credibility to the title by having it out in the open on Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, for whatever reason, Triple H feels debuting Balor as NXT champion would devalue the title. So, Vince feels it would be smart to debut Balor, Gallows, and Anderson, get this, as soon as Monday Night Raw in Chicago, tomorrow. Vince feels it would be smart to debut Balor, Gallows, and Anderson as soon as Chicago, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. This is much sooner than most anticipated. It would also be a rarity for WWE, who rarely debuts stars this close to WrestleMania. WWE even has a creative plan in their pocket if they plan to do this. Again, you're not going to hear this anywhere. According to the Wrestling Observer, okay, 2 different sources in one article, there's been some speculation on AJ Styles turning on Chris Jericho, forcing an abrupt end to their partnership. This would then leave AJ open for a match with Balor at WrestleMania, which would be another main event to those who know the Bullet Club's history. This match is also WrestleMania worthy, and WWE needs to have more top matches for the show. Some feel Styles working for a championship of some kind at WrestleMania is best, but this would be a great secondary option if WWE wanted to go against that idea for a while. This is, of course, if WWE actually debuts Balor by Monday Night Raw in Chicago tomorrow night. They need to start setting up WrestleMania matches, and next week in Chicago is a good time to set something up for him, if this is the plan. The same can be said for 3 weeks out. Right now, however, it is uncertain when we will see Balor on Monday Night Raw. It does seem likely that since Vince is getting on Triple H about his debut now more than ever, and he pushed hard for most of the fall, we might see Balor by at least Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 32. It would not be shocking if Vince McMahon did get his way and managed to get Finn Balor, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson all at the same time before anything is said and done. It is also should be noted that it would be a good place to do it, as Chicago is considered a marked town and fans will know all 3. WWE will be in similar towns leading to WrestleMania as well. This is absolutely groundbreaking news for Off the Script. You're not going to hear that anywhere at all, okay? Keep that in mind. I try to bring you guys the best content I can, and this is a story that I saved for today because I hyped it up on Twitter, and I'm bringing it to you guys today. Now, my opinion on this, and I've said this before, I understand Vince McMahon's want to get Finn Balor. I know Vince McMahon sees money in Finn Balor. You got to be a blind fucking idiot if you don't see money in Finn Balor, okay? The thing with this is, it's 50-50. I can see and understand Triple H's thought process here. I can see and understand Vince McMahon's thought process here. Does Triple H have someone in place to take Finn Balor's spot as the #1 guy on NXT? Will that be Samoa Joe? I don't know. Can Samoa Joe handle that spot as a heel? I don't know. I don't know how WWE Creative in NXT sees Samoa Joe or if he can handle that spot. You obviously have Apollo Crews, who can certainly be the face of the company if chosen. Baron Corbin, he seems to be always this close from getting to the top spot in NXT, but I don't think WWE Creative down there deems him ready for that spot just yet. Maybe he needs to work out some kinks. Maybe he needs to get better in certain areas before they catapult him to that next position. I don't know. Sami Zayn is rumored to be making his WWE main roster debut for WrestleMania. I talked about this yesterday on Off the Script. If you missed that, link for part 1 and 2 are down in the description. Sami Zayn may be in the IC title ladder match that they're planning, which I'll talk about in a second. He may be in the IC title ladder match for WrestleMania. You know, Kevin Owens is going to be in a multi-man match with Miz, Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn might be a part of that. I don't know. And Sami Zayn has a match with Nakamura at NXT TakeOver Dallas, one on WrestleMania weekend. So you're going to put him at WrestleMania after working a hard match, I'm assuming it will be, with Nakamura. I don't know how Sami Zayn's going to feel about that. I know he's going to feel fantastic to be at WrestleMania, but physically, I don't know how he's going to feel working a match with Nakamura and then going right into a ladder match at WrestleMania. You got to worry about all the injuries that are popping up in WWE, that this guy could potentially get injured. I don't know. It's something that's always going to be in the back of your mind. And it's something that I'm thinking about as well when it comes to Sami Zayn. I see Triple H's point of view, okay? The fact that I don't agree with him on is the fact that the NXT title being on Monday Night Raw devalues the title. I don't think it would devalue the title. The only thing that's going to devalue the title is the men behind the microphone. You got Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and JBL. You got to play up Finn Balor being a fucking legit monster. You got to play him up as a fucking legit moneymaker. This guy's the real deal. You hype him up as the NXT champion and you speak nothing but good about him. The reason why he's the NXT champion is because of what he's done. What he's done for the brand, what he's done in and out of the ring, what he's done for that promotion. You know, the notoriety that he's given the promotion, where he came from, what he's achieved. One of the most decorated independent superstars and signings that the WWE's ever had. Play that up. Don't treat this guy just like an ordinary guy that's down in NXT and he's not treated as anything special. Finn Balor is special. Finn Balor is going to be the next big thing in WWE. I've said it for weeks. Daniel Bryan's not there anymore. Daniel Bryan was the only guy that I deemed and seen worthy to take John Cena's spot as the number one guy. Finn Balor now, to me, is that guy. He's got the look, he's got the marketability, he's got the in-ring skill, he's got the entrance. Guy has it all. The only thing that Finn Balor needs to work on is mic presence, and that's it. He's got everything else, okay? I understand that. I don't see why Triple H thinks that the NXT title being on Monday Night Raw would devalue the title. What I do understand on Triple H's side of things is you can't bring these guys up immediately, okay? I was listening to the Stone Cold podcast, and I can't wait for part 2. He had Vince Russo on for one part. Part 2 is going to be next week. The one thing that I took out of that 1-hour podcast with Vince Russo, and obviously we all know Vince Russo for being the head of the creative department during the Attitude Era. He mentioned Val Venis. Val Venis might not have been the best in-ring performer of all time, but the gimmick that Val Venis played was a porn star. What happened with Val Venis before he actually made his Monday Night Raw debut? You knew he was coming, no pun intended. You knew he was coming 4 or 5 weeks out. The promos, the coming attractions were fucking gold. That character was allowed to be that risque in the Attitude Era. And it proved to be money. 4 or 5 weeks, you see Val Venis laying on a bed. You see Val Venis on the set of his next movie. Shit like that. He had the porno music playing. He had fucking Jenna Jameson star in one of the coming attractions before he actually made his debut. Before this guy made his debut, and when he finally came out, he was already a superstar. People couldn't wait to see him. People couldn't wait to see what Val Venis had to offer the WWE. And when he came out, people were not disappointed. The money shot, the fucking in-ring skill, which it was okay, it was passable, the ring entrance, the music, the guy had it all. It was the perfect character for the mid-card in the Attitude Era. He was a superstar before he even stepped foot through the curtain because of the promo packages and the build-up that went with that character. This is what you have to do with NXT. This is what you have to do with everybody down in NXT. Everybody. This is what they failed to do with Tyler Breeze. This is what they failed to do with Neville. This is what they failed to do with the Ascension Bo Dallas, and everybody else that follows, they're going to fail to do it because WWE seems to forget how to build new stars. This is one of the most fundamental things that we have grown up to watch in WWE. Coming attractions. What happened when Karma made her debut? All you seen was that doll, that creepy looking doll, and eventually when she made her debut 4 or 5 weeks after those promos, we seen, oh shit, Karma's coming out. It's an anticipated moment that people are going to watch. People are going to be intrigued by. People are going to go out of their way to make sure they see this debut. If anything about those promo packages interests them. You got to do it with Finn Balor. You got to do it with Apollo Crews. You got to do it with everybody coming up from NXT. You got to do it with Bayley. You got to do it with Sami Zayn. You got to do it with Samoa Joe. This is fundamental character development. This is how you get the guys over who are making their debut from NXT. You can't pull a Finn Balor from NXT and debut him on Monday Night Raw in Tennessee. Half of the fucking goons in the crowd down there aren't even going to appreciate the talent that Finn Balor is. None of them. You're not gonna have fucking the family sitting front row, jumping up and cheering for Finn Balor when he comes out with demon paint and he's doing the whole fucking entrance. Nobody's gonna appreciate that. You gotta build the fucking hype. You gotta build the hype for these guys. I understand Triple H's point of view on that completely. Vince McMahon, on the other hand, I know he sees money in Finn Balor. I know he sees money in the Bullet Club or Bulletproof with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. I mean, these guys in WWE, you got a monstrous storyline if you are willing to take the risks. Okay, these guys can overtake WWE in an NWO type fashion, which I gave you not only a couple of months ago. WWE has something great on their hands. Now it's time for them to execute. But Vince McMahon, on the other hand, I do see him seeing money in Finn Balor. But here's the thing. I think Vince McMahon downright, right now, at this very moment, while you're listening to this, I sense Vince McMahon is getting desperate. I really do. I think Vince McMahon is, playing that desperation card. He knows WrestleMania, and WrestleMania is, it could have been the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Imagine what this WrestleMania could have been if everybody was healthy. WWE has not even come close to a sellout at AT&T Stadium yet. You got 4 weeks left till WrestleMania. Vince McMahon's getting desperate. He's looking for ways to fill this card so that we all go out and purchase a fucking ticket to either go to the arena or watch this shit on pay-per-view. Or go out and sign up for their network. He's in full desperation mode right now. But do you guys get my point about promos and coming attractions for WWE superstars? You just can't put Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, you could probably put him on Monday Night Raw in Chicago. Everybody's going to know who he is. But you can't pull him out of NXT without any build-up. The same thing happened with Tyler Breeze and everybody else. All those guys failed because nobody knew who they were. Nobody went out of their way to find out what these guys were about. Legion of Doom ripoff with the Ascension. Oh, Tyler Breeze looks gay. He can't wrestle. He's a fucking pretty boy. This gimmick sucks. You can't appreciate the gimmick if you're not watching NXT. You can't appreciate the gimmick if you don't see coming attractions of him in some secluded, beautiful scenery on vacation somewhere in the Bahamas, drinking a fucking pina colada with a hot model next to him. Fucking, look, this is what you need to do to get these guys over. And when these guys make their debut, then they'll be over with the crowd. People will know who they are because they've been seeing them 4 or 5 weeks now. Tyler Breeze is coming. The Ascension is coming. Show them some highlight packages of what they did down at NXT. Something. But build these guys up and give them some coming attractions so we, the audience at home, know that they are coming. We know who they are, but to the average WWE fan, they don't know. They don't know. And that's what needs to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see if Vince McMahon gets his way about this. I doubt it. It all depends on Samoa Joe, really. If Samoa Joe wins the title from Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver, then we might see Finn Balor. If Samoa Joe loses, we might see Samoa Joe on WWE Raw. It all depends on the outcome of that match, which we will see on April 1st, Friday, WrestleMania weekend. But that is the exclusive news about Finn Balor, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows, Bulletproof, coming to WWE. speaking of WrestleMania, this is the rumored card right now for WrestleMania. Obviously, Triple H versus Roman Reigns, confirmed. Depending on how Dean Ambrose and Triple H goes at WWE Cockblock, remains to be seen. But WWE definitely could, fix this card up a little bit. Give us some unpredictability. But I think they're going to stick with their plans of Roman Reigns winning the title, even though we all loathe that idea. Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. That is confirmed. No holds barred street fight. Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. That is confirmed. Rumored. WWE Tag Team titles. The New Day versus Y2AJ. Divas title. Don't know yet. It was confirmed just a mere days ago. Now with Charlotte being injured, we don't know. But there was going to be a triple threat match. Charlotte versus Sasha versus Becky Lynch for the Divas Championship. TLC match rumored. The Dudleys versus the Usos. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The third annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And more matches soon to be announced. There's also a possible six-man ladder match for the IC or the United States Championship. Now, I will have news on why The Miz beat Dolph Ziggler on Monday Night Raw. But if WWE wants to get the United States Championship on the card, which I think they should, Kalisto versus Neville would be a great opening match. They've been teaming up. They went one-on-one not too long ago. I think WWE needs to build some conflict there with Neville and Kalisto. If you guys seen NXT this past Wednesday with Finn Balor and Neville, I don't understand how you can watch that match and not have anything for Neville in the WWE. I really don't understand it. That match probably was the best match this year on WWE television. It went nearly 20 minutes, and they fucking put on a show for everybody. Absolutely amazing. I love both Neville and Finn Balor, and you watch Neville work in the ring, I just don't understand how WWE on Monday Night Raw has absolutely nothing for this guy. I mean, the guy's a fucking superstar. He's got it all to be a primetime player on the main roster. Give this guy something to do. Most of the time, it really is the man that creative forgot. What happened to the United States Championship? I just don't understand how it goes from John Cena and all this importance to Del Rio and then Kalisto, and now it means nothing. Kalisto lost how many matches since he won it? He's been looking like a fucking bum. Give this guy something to do. Treat the United States title with some fucking respect and put on a great 20-minute match at WrestleMania for these guys to showcase themselves and give us a hard-fought match for the United States Championship. It's not that difficult. You got 4 weeks left until the event. Give these guys something to do. I'm sitting here hoping that both guys make the card, make the match, and give something credible to do for the United States Championship. That's what I think. So that's what I would do. With the rumor about the bulletproof thing and Finn Balor, we don't know what the fuck's going on. WWE right now is up in the air as far as WrestleMania goes. Six-man ladder match probably will happen because it happened last year. Daniel Bryan won that match. That opened the show last year at WrestleMania 31. So I could see that happening. If it was up to me, I would scrap the fucking Money in the Bank pay-per-view and give Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. That's where it needs to be. Money in the Bank needs to be at WrestleMania. If you want to bring Sami Zayn up like the rumors say, build to that match. Those two have history. Easy. You don't need a month build for that. Sami Zayn could debut on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and we can have a great IC title match at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. That doesn't need any build. They have a history. Sami Zayn, storyline-wise, was put out by Kevin Owens. So you really have no work to do there. And on top of that, you got a match that could go 30 minutes, steal the show, and it would bring credibility and a spotlight on the Intercontinental title. Money in the Bank, you could put all these guys like The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, whoever else you want in there, and have them fight over Money in the Bank. That's what I would do. WWE has limited itself by giving us these gimmick pay-per-views, like Money in the Bank. That should be a WrestleMania staple. Easy. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal means nothing to anybody. Goes to show you who won it. They didn't do anything with Cesaro, and they gave it to the Big Show in year 2. I mean, give me a fucking break. Nobody gives a shit, and it's been delegated to the pre-show. So who cares? That's just my thought on that. But that is the latest on the WrestleMania card right now. Not looking too impressive, but WWE certainly has a lot of work to do with 4 weeks left to go. The reason why The Miz won over Dolph Ziggler on Monday Night Raw, he got a surprising victory over Dolph Ziggler. There has been some speculation as to why WWE decided to give The Miz the win in such short fashion. Apparently, the reason for The Miz's victory over Ziggler on Monday Night Raw was to give him a much-needed win to try and reignite the feud between both men to set up a multi-man match at WrestleMania in a few weeks. According to the Wrestling Observer, The Miz is to be involved in a key match for WrestleMania, and Monday Night Raw was a way to give him some credibility after losing some matches to AJ Styles and Chris Jericho in the middle of their feud. WWE felt that the win over Dolph Ziggler would be a good move, considering Dolph just won a few matches over the current Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens. There is some speculation that the recent matches between Owens and Big Show will be combined. What am I reading here? The matches between Owens and Big Show will be combined with The Miz and Ziggler to have a multi-man match for the IC title at WrestleMania. God forbid I see the Big Show in a ladder match. That's probably the only environment I won't mind seeing him in, but I don't want to see him in a title match, period. He is so over that. However, it's possible that WWE has something else planned, but it's clear that it will involve The Miz. WWE may also want to consider The Miz versus Kalisto for the United States Championship. No, I think that should go to Neville. Braun Strowman is still expected to get a massive push after WrestleMania. Last month, the big rumor for a while circulating WrestleMania was that Braun Strowman was picked by Vince McMahon himself to face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. Of course, that was before Shane McMahon returned to the WWE, and his match with The Undertaker for WrestleMania in Hell in a Cell was set up a few weeks ago. The question now is, what is next for Braun Strowman in Dallas? Despite the fact that Strowman versus Undertaker and the idea was thrown out because of Braun Strowman's inexperience and a various number of other reasons, mainly the YWC and the IWC, Vince McMahon and WWE have not budged on the monster push that the Wyatt family's black sheep is set to receive soon. According to DWN, DailyWrestlingNews.com, WWE officials are still high on the idea of Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman at SummerSlam in New York City. Their belief is not only that Braun Strowman is worthy... What? Their belief is not only that Braun Strowman is worthy of such a high-profile feud, but WWE believes that he should go over Lesnar. Am I reading this correctly? Or is WWE fucking stupid? Seriously. Let's take a minute to think about that. Go over Brock Lesnar. The man who hasn't had any fucking matches, singles-wise. You got how many months till SummerSlam after WrestleMania? WrestleMania's in April, May, June, July. You got 3 months to build Braun Strowman up as a dominating monster that could take out Brock Lesnar. I doubt that could be done. So I don't know what WWE is planning to do there, but he certainly is not worthy of anything right now because he hasn't shown me anything. There's a reason why he's on the fucking t-shirt. Get off my TV. WWE is giving this guy all these accolades and saying, oh, we're gonna push him and he can do so much more than he's shown on TV. Then fucking show me. What are you waiting for? Instead of burying the Wyatt family, I'm open to see what this guy can do. But I'm not open to fucking reading reports that he's worthy of such a high-profile feud and that he should go over Brock Lesnar. The Undertaker wasn't even worthy enough to go over Brock Lesnar. You're gonna put Braun Strowman over Brock Lesnar? Give me a fucking break, WWE. The belief in that logic is the potential Braun has to be a monster heel, and defeating Brock would give him a ton of momentum to go after Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship in late 2016, as WWE has planned. Oh my fucking God. Jesus Christ, can you imagine the main events that I'm going to be shitting all over in late 2016? Are you fucking kidding me? We don't want to see Roman Reigns to begin with. You're going to give us Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman? Jesus fucking Christ. The potential idea is for Roadblock, a.k.a. Cockblock, to be a potential beginning of Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar in an extended program through the first half of 2016, then for WWE to push their plan of Lesnar versus Strowman. Creative plans can always change, but it seems like Strowman is a lock to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and receive a massive push after WrestleMania this year. Yeah, let's fucking shove Bray Wyatt down the ladder and push Braun Strowman. It's a slap in the face to Bray Wyatt. Fuck that. If anybody is worthy of anything in the Wyatt family, it's Bray Wyatt. If anybody is deserving of anything in the Wyatt family, it is Bray Wyatt. Next in line is Luke Harper. Not that fucking difficult to understand. Bray Wyatt should be WWE's main concern when it comes to the Wyatt family. Braun Strowman has proved nothing. He has continued to prove nothing. And WWE right now is solely selling this guy to everybody off his size. Meanwhile, he has absolutely no substance. And if that is the case, I'm going to fucking write him off immediately. Because he is not showing me anything. I don't give a shit how dominating he looks. I don't give a shit how long his beard is. I don't give a shit how small his pants are. I don't give a shit how big his chest is. If this guy can't perform simple tasks in the ring, I want him off my TV. The big guy, and I'm not talking about fucking Ryback, the big guy giant in WWE, more times than not, does absolutely nothing for me because it doesn't do anything to suspend our belief. Half of these guys are not built up correctly, and if WWE has all the plans to push Braun Strowman to put him over Brock Lesnar, it's a slap in the face to Bray Wyatt. It really is. And to see him go one-on-one with Roman Reigns, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Are you absolutely out of your fucking mind? What makes WWE think that Bray Wyatt is not deserving of a feud with Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship? I know the fucking feuds and matches those guys can give us, but to have Braun Strowman in that part? Give me a fucking break, man. Give me NyQuil and wake me when it's over. That's all I gotta say about that. And finally, guys, big update on the returns of John Cena and Seth Rollins. To end this week's Off the Script, WWE has had a rough 2015 and 2016 already when it came to talent health. Seemed like everybody with a name had a mark of death as most top stars went down with some sort of injury. First it was Seth Rollins, who tore just about everything one could tear in his knee in late 2015. Then John Cena went down in early 2016 with a shoulder issue. Both have had their respective surgeries and both have done well in their recovery. Some speculate Cena may even have a role in WrestleMania 32, but that is still up in the air. According to DWN, DailyWrestlingNews.com, both John Cena and Seth Rollins are ahead of schedule for their recoveries. Rollins has been working like a champ to get back sooner, and Cena was back in the gym about 2 weeks after his surgery. Both are athletic specimens that clearly need to be examined by science, but that's not the point. What is the point is that both men could be back well sooner than originally speculated. Both men are said to be putting in a lot of effort and putting all their body through to get back sooner rather than later. And WWE surely needs them right now. With so much of the roster gutted due to injury, there is a huge need for more top stars. WWE has them, but at least 4 top names are not cleared to return to the ring just yet. While fans speculated he will be back by WrestleMania, Cena is by no means going to be able to do so. At least Cena won't be able to make a full-time return by WrestleMania. Although there is a shot that he does appear on the program, he could literally show up, work WWE Raw, and then leave. His full return is better suited near SummerSlam. However, WWE could easily put his comeback at Money in the Bank this summer. Meanwhile, Rollins is supposedly going to be ready to go by May. However, he very well could be held out until June. This is, of course, all depending on what WWE feels is best. There is no creative plan decided yet on Seth Rollins or John Cena, but the current plan is to throw them back into top stories upon their comeback, obviously. Of course, what that means is yet to be determined. Right now, WWE knows they have a bit of a problem when it comes to Rollins due to how over he got from his work before his injury. He clearly is getting too much love to be hated upon his comeback. WWE officials have discussed turning Rollins face, seeing as they feel he won't be booed upon his comeback, which he won't. The idea originally was for Rollins to turn around WrestleMania time and face Triple H in one of the top matches on the card. Of course, plans changed all around when Rollins got hurt. Then when Cena got hurt, many other backup plans also got scrapped. Injuries have really plagued the WWE roster for sure. It would not be shocking for WWE to have Rollins return and go right after Triple H upon his return. Since Rollins is set to return earlier than anticipated, one would imagine that it would be good to give the fans a shocker at WrestleMania 32 and have Triple H win over Roman Reigns to retain the WWE World Heavyweight title. He would then hang on to it until Rollins returns a month or so later, which would allow him to recapture the title he never lost. I would rather that happen, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would rather that happen as well. It would also allow the fans to get the Seth Rollins Triple H match that was planned for all along. The two of them could very well still face off with one another at SummerSlam. However, if WWE needs a big main event to sell Money in the Bank, other than the ladder match, the two of them could surely do well there. As for John Cena, his return storyline is up in the air, as he did not really leave on anything of note. He really just got back from being gone for months due to a television show he was filming. He could always go right after the WWE United States title again, of course. And that is the latest on John Cena and Seth Rollins and WWE creative direction, possible outcomes for their return. We don't know when they're going to return, but both men, the most important thing in this report is that both men are well ahead of schedule. So we could see both at WrestleMania in some type of role. We could see them back well before SummerSlam, thrusted right back into the main event scene. We just don't know yet, but WWE at one time, they're going to get Cesaro back, they're going to get Seth Rollins back, they're going to get Cena back. Things should be looking a lot better for WWE following WrestleMania. Mix that with some possible NXT call-ups. WWE should be in a prime spot with no fucking excuses to give us 3 hours of Monday Night Raw each and every week that is interesting and makes me want to watch and not fall asleep. So hopefully WWE does something very special following WrestleMania. Hopefully WWE makes WrestleMania special. Hopefully they make it surprising and unpredictable in some way, shape, or form. We don't know yet what is going to happen, but big update. The returns of John Cena and Seth Rollins are coming very, very soon. And that is all the news I have for you on Off the Script for this Sunday. If you enjoyed the video, please don't hesitate to leave a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. The iTunes podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom will be available as you listen to this on Sunday. So make sure you guys go out and download that and listen to it. Ton of ranting over there with booking for WWE Roadblock and WrestleMania. Make sure you guys check that out. ProWrestlingTees.com. Get your t-shirts. If you missed Off the Script, links are down below. Check out the CSR podcast with Blake and Shane that I was on. That's in the description below. And obviously, as always, Twitter at JD from NY206, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. As always, I will be back doing Monday Night Raw review from Chicago. Hopefully it's a good fucking show. The crowd is going to be absolutely on fire. So hopefully WWE gives us a good show. Until then, guys, I'll be back on Monday with your Raw review. Tune in then. I'm JD. This is Off the Script, the #1 source for WWE right here on YouTube.com. And I'll see you all tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. And I'll be back right here with episode 108 of Off the Script. Talk to you guys later.